the slide is about this two things is actually together we call it as uh, gene expression. Okay, this term we'll learn further later, but what is the transcription followed by translation is nothing but gene expression. Okay, and we can say it's a stages of protein synthesis, and the first step, that is transcription, is actually the synthesis of messenger RNA from DNA, and this takes place inside the nucleus, the site. Okay, while after the messenger RNA is formed, it moves out of the nucleus, comes in the cytoplasm, and then there the translation happens. The translation is the process in which the messenger RNA is decoded and forms protein or synthesizes protein. Okay, so translation we'll be learning separate, transcription is a different process, we'll learn separate. While in both the processes we have to learn that, just like we learned in replication, enzymes are involved. Okay, some components, enzymes, all things are involved. Same way in transcription and translation, there are a few sets of enzymes needed. Then of course messenger RNA, while for translation we need not only all the three types of RNAs we need. Okay, we need messenger RNA, we need transcription, or we call it adapter molecule, that is the tRNA, and the third one is ribosomal RNA. These are the three types of RNA we need for the process of translation which happens in the cytoplasm. Today we are going to start with the mechanism of transcription, how transcriptions take place, that we are going to learn. Okay.
Transcription takes place in the nucleus, where the DNA acts as a template for the synthesis of messenger RNA. It is a process by which genetic information in DNA is transferred to a molecule of messenger RNA. It is governed by the principle of complementarity, with one exception, that adenine now forms base pair with uracil instead of thymine. Messenger RNA carries the genetic information to the cytoplasm for protein synthesis, and hence it gets the name messenger. The transcription process is different from DNA replication. In replication, the total DNA of an organism gets duplicated, while in transcription, only one DNA strand gets copied into RNA. In case both DNA strands act as templates in transcription, two types of proteins will be produced. One with the correct sequence and the other with the reverse sequence of amino acids. Moreover, the simultaneous
Okay.
Produced RNA molecules would become complementary to each other and will form double-stranded RNA. As a result,
yesterday we have learned
RNA will not get translated into protein.
Okay.
Protein, and the process of transcription will get nullified.
Yeah. Yesterday
However,
we have learned
such an occurrence is quite
regarding this. Till here it was over. Okay, where we have done this is
rare.
okay. As I'm going to start, yeah. So okay. Yeah. So yesterday, till here it was over, that transcription, what you saw just now is the animation of the process of transcription. As you saw from DNA, the double helical, the strands or the templates of DNA separated out. Okay, and from that, any one, okay, or not anyone, only one rather, will make the mRNA, will transcribe mRNA, okay, and which will give out mRNA. And it has come, it is, as you can see, it is coming out of the nucleopore, from the membrane of the nucleus. It's coming out in the cytoplasm for the process, okay, remaining process. Now, but what is coming out, what now is a double stranded, two templates of DNA, RNA, which is actually, it's not fine. This is not the way mRNA is formed. This is a defective mRNA, since mRNA should be only, of two reasons that we were learning why only one strand DNA is transcribed. The reason is, number one, one strand, they are complementary, both the pairs of both the templates of DNA are complementary to each other. So the information what is on the one strand, it carries just the other codes on the other strand. Okay, so only messenger RNA is single stranded, and then this strands decodes for the particular protein what we need. Now the point is, the protein what we need, depending upon that, on that part of DNA, and that template of the DNA only becomes the actively transcriptionally active and transcribes into mRNA. While if there are two or both the strands are formed of mRNA, what will be the problem? The two types of this kind of mRNA, what will happen is, suppose two mRNA are formed on both the strands, what will happen? Both will produce, after translation, both will produce proteins. One will be useful, another one is of no use, okay, which is not, and anything formed without any use lying inside the body causes two things. Number one, energy is lost even for the translation process, transcription process. A lot of energy is used, that is unnecessarily used, done, and wastage of energy, we can say. And other than that, accumulation of non-usable such proteins is not good to just getting accumulated. So that is one reason why both the templates don't decode itself or forms mRNA. The second reason is, since they are highly, they are complementary in pairing, there is a chance that they may become double stranded, like this, what you can see just now. If instead of one strand coming, if both the strands come and moves, since they can attract each other and come into a double strand, and this kind of double strand of mRNA is nullified. It will not form, it will not form or produce or synthesize protein. It will nullify the effect of translation. No translation will occur, and definitely it's a highly wastage of energy for making both the strands and this kind of process. For anything happening inside the body, it uses energy, so this will be a waste. Okay,
The segment of DNA which takes part in the transcription process is called the transcription unit.
the video is paused. I would like to know, children, other than me, who is using the, you can also see this, remote and all, children, since it is, I am allowing everybody for the screen, all can you see it?
And it encodes for at least one gene. Let's understand the transcription unit in detail. It consists of three main regions, namely the promoter, the structural gene, terminator. The promoter is the starting point of the transcription process and is present upstream at the 5' end of the structural gene. In the promoter, there is a binding site for RNA polymerase, which moves along the DNA strand from 3' to 5' direction. With the help of RNA polymerase, the promoter can code for the 2 strands of the DNA helix.
Okay, as you can see, this is the structural or this is a transcriptional unit. Okay, a transcriptional unit is, children, very easy to write about it. If you check the notes also, in the same way it is given. Okay, just check the notes when you're not now, whenever it is you're learning. Fine. There are 3 parts in a transcriptional unit. Number 1, promoter, structural gene, and terminator. 3 parts on a transcriptional unit. See, it's a DNA, and as you can see here, when I zoom, you can see the zoom part, right? Okay, so as you can see this part here, it's a promoter area where it is written. It is 3, it is yet not, I mean, what happens, 3 dash one side, the other polar, other template is 5. So which side to which side it happens from, it is happening from 3 dash, 3' end to 5' end. And where it is written promoter, there is what they're talking about, the enzyme which is coming and attaching itself. That is this, actually when we talk about promoter, it has got codes. Okay, there are codes, as you can see here, adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, all these are there. So these codes become the promoters and all those things. So terminators, you'll be learning the starting codon, the ending codon, stop codons. You'll be learning in when we learn about the codes, genetic codes. Okay, so this is 3 dash to 5 dash, it is happening, and only one strand it will be, this transcription takes place on DNA. Okay.
However, these 2 DNA strands will get reversed if the promoter switches its position with the terminator. The next part of the transcription unit is the structural gene, which consists of 2 DNA strands having opposite polarity. The strand with the 3' to 5' polarity acts as a template and is called the template strand. While the DNA strand, which has 5' to 3' polarity, is known as the coding strand and is displaced during transcription. The sequence of this strand is the same as that of RNA, except that thymine exists in place of uracil. The structural gene can be defined in terms of a cistron or segment of DNA that codes for a polypeptide. The structural gene in a transcription unit can be either monocistronic or polycistronic. A monocistronic structural gene contains the genetic information to translate only a single protein and is found in eukaryotes. On the other hand, a polycistronic structural gene carries the information of several genes which can be translated into several proteins. It is found in prokaryotes.
Yes, paused. Okay, so this second part of this is actually structural gene, the gene or the part of the DNA which carries actually the codes and which will actually give you the protein later on. Okay, those codes, because when we say promoters is the part where the from where the transcription has to start, that information is there. Okay, so it will not have it will have a code, but it will not form into protein. The information for the protein, which protein has to be formed, is actually in the in the part of that transcriptional unit, which we call it as transcriptional sorry it is known as structural gene. So structural gene actually are the codes, or the place where the code is there for the protein. Now coming to this part, it is they said this depending upon the type of the structural gene, they are of two types. Number one, monocistrons, the other ones are polycistrons. Now the word tells mono means one, while polycistron, poly means many. Fine. So it means if the this part, that is the structural gene, carries the information for the synthesis of only one protein. Okay, if the this part of transcriptional unit, that is the structural gene, carries the information only for one protein to get synthesized, it is known as monocistrons. And the examples, or we can say the example where you can find such is in human beings. Okay, or any kind of eukaryotes, other than all eukaryotes, any example you can take. So all these in our cells and all, we are having which type of structural genes, structural unit, we have monocistronic type. That means one structural unit will give you only one type of protein synthesis. Okay, while in prokaryotes, what happened, it has only one chromosome at the most, right? One, two, we call it two because of one is plasmid, the other one is, so they, since they have only one total in one chromosome and all, so what happens, for all the type of proteins which they have to synthesize in their lifetime, it has got the information on the same DNA. Okay, but on a different parts of that DNA. Okay, so such gene, or such part of the DNA, or the other name we are calling now, it is as structural gene. Okay, the part of that this structural unit gene, when it carries the information for the synthesis of more than one protein, it is known as polycistronic I mean type of transcription as a structural gene. So polycistronic is there only in prokaryotes, while in eukaryotes we all are having monocistronic type of structural gene. Okay, so this is the second part is information or the actual codes which will later during translation decodes for the synthesis of protein. Okay, then the third part is terminator. Terminator will terminate, like from here, this is the information from this code. As it reaches, it will separate out and there won't be any further mRNA formed. So promoter, structural gene, and terminator.
The monocistronic structural gene has a split gene arrangement, where sequences called introns and exons are present. However, in this gene arrangement, only the exons act as coding sequences. The process of transcription helps remove introns and joins exons as functional messenger.
Okay, what you see just now is the process in which what is happening in this is monocistronic we are talking about. Okay, in eukaryotes, in monocistrons, little the process of transcription is little lengthier. The reason is it has got in between the structural gene unit of the transcriptional unit. In the structural gene, there are few exons, I mean there are few codes which we don't need it. Okay, in between there are codes which we don't need it, known as introns. Okay, as you can see here, introns. So introns are the codes we don't need it in, which are already present in between DNA. The removal what they're showing is the removal of introns and bringing all the exons together. Okay, that is exon 1, exon 2, as you can see here. So with, of course, whenever there's a cut and coming back, it is sticking, or when they bring ligase enzyme. So still the process we have not started. This mechanism only we are learning. It's total process with enzymes are coming up only. So they're just telling you how it is happening. Okay, so in eukaryotes, the process of transcription is little lengthier, or little more extra efforts has to pay, because it has got some informations on DNA which we don't need it for that protein. So those are known as introns, and they are removed, as you can see, by squeezing they are removed. Okay, all the introns are removed, and exons are brought together with the help of ligase. They are brought together.
RNA. It is the exons in the structural gene, along with the promoter, which determine the inheritance of a character. The structural gene also consists of regulatory sequences which regulate the functions of other genes but do not code for any RNA or protein. They are also known as regulatory genes. At the 3' end of the structural gene is the terminator, which is another important part of the transcription unit. The terminator defines the end of the process of transcription. Transcription also happens to be the first stage in the process of gene expression. As it helps in the transcription of a gene into messenger RNA and encodes for a protein. The building of protein is very essential to the functioning of an organism. In this protein building task, DNA acts as a master blueprint containing all genetic information about the protein to be created. The genetic information from DNA is transferred to messenger RNA or mRNA through a process known as transcription. Now let's learn how transcription takes place in prokaryotes such as bacteria. The prokaryotic cell does not have separations in terms of cytoplasm and nucleus. Therefore, both transcription and translation processes involved in protein synthesis can take place inside the prokaryotic cell at the same time. In prokaryotes such as bacteria, only one DNA-dependent RNA polymerase enzyme catalyzes the transcription of all types of RNA. There are 3 types of RNAs involved in the process of protein synthesis: messenger RNA or mRNA, transfer RNA or tRNA, and ribosomal RNA or rRNA. mRNA carries the coding information to the sites of protein synthesis. It helps to put together amino acids to make protein. The tRNA carries each amino acid to the ribosome according to the coded message in the mRNA, while the rRNA provides a mechanism to decode mRNA into amino acids.
What you see is the translation.
Transcription, the first process in protein synthesis, occurs in three stages: initiation, chain elongation, and termination. In the first stage,